you shouldn't even worry about when I'm starting or anything like that. Because you're going to just sit and talk to me like you and I normally talk, like this, okay? And it's going to take some time just to forget about the camera and forget about lots of things, okay?
But when I talk, it goes in there.
Yeah, but you're talking to me, and that's all that's important, okay? But forget about the camera, okay? How are you feeling? Do you feel funny in front of the camera?
I feel silly.
Why?
I never done this before.
Yeah, but you're famous now. Okay.
I'm gay.
Okay. First of all, you should remember that we should talk like you told me all the things before about details and
You
things like that.
probably remember them more than I.
Well, I have a lot of things I can ask you. So the important thing is that you're going to just sit and tell me stories. All right? You tell me details. You tell me everything you want to tell me. Anything you ever wanted to tell me. Okay?
Where should I start?
You should start with when you were born. What date? When were you born? And where? And what your parents' names were.
No, I was born in a Bochum.
In a Bochum.
I don't think it's on the map.
Why? Where is it, Rella?
It was not far from Kiev.
Uh-huh.
Kiev is a large city.
Uh-huh.
And my father, I don't remember. He died when I was very little.
What was his name?
Heschel.
Heschel. His last name was
Radutsky.
Radutsky. Okay.
That's why my name is.
Right.
My brother's names.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers are Radutsky.
Right.
Well, and I'm the sister.
Right.
So I'm a Radutsky.
Right.
Now,
Right.
what do you like to know more?
How come you never met him? What happened? What day were you born?
You say 1900.
On what day? January 25th.
25th.
And how come you don't know exactly when? Because didn't they record it?
Well, when you're born in a small place,
Uh-huh.
they have certain things. They don't have the things that they have more
Mm-hmm.
in the larger cities.
Right. How many people do you think lived in a Bochum when you were there?
I really wouldn't know.
Like, was it small? Like,
It was small, but was a large place.
did they have horses and things there?
Oh, sure.
Really?
There are a lot of Gentile people.
Uh-huh.
And the Gentile people were nice, accordingly. Yeah, like my mother was a nice lady, of course.
Right. What did she do?
Well, when my father died, she had a large store, not a store like you come and you buy your bread, but she had a store like you have to feed the horses, calves, in quantities. Like every sack of certain things was 5 pounds.
So she sells.
Years different. So she was capable to sell. She was a lady of all kinds of qualities.
Uh-huh. What was her name?
Malka.
Malka.
Your mother is named after her.
Right.
But they couldn't pronounce Malka. In America, you don't say Malka.
Uh-huh.
So she called herself, some people used to call her Molly. But she liked Maryland. So the Maryland was Maryland.
So what did they call her in Russia? What did people call her?
My mother?
Yeah.
Malka.
Malka. And how old was she when she? How much older was she than you?
My mother?
Yeah.
I don't know.
About.
I was the last one.
You were the last one out of all your kids.
All my brothers. I had 3 brothers.
Right.
And we were 3 sisters.
Right.
3, yeah.
Right. So wait. So she sold all these large bushels.
My brother used to help her.
Uh-huh.
He was the oldest.
What was his name?
Nathan.
Oh.
Nathan Radutsky, the one that has the factory at the house.
Right. They used to have.
Well, he's not here.
Right.
I had a brother, Harry,
Uh-huh.
a brother, what did I say, Harry? A brother, Nathan,
Nathan,
and Irving,
Irving,
and Tilly.
Tilly.
No, not Tilly was after Chava.
Okay, so wait, let's start. Who was the oldest? Was Nathan,
Nathan.
and then
And then it must have been my sister, Chava.
Chava,
And then it was Yitzchok, we call him.
Yitzhak, but that was,
That's
what's his name in English?
Irving.
Irving,
And Max.
Max,
And I came.
and you, but that's only five, right?
5. Another one was a little child boy. I can't even remember because I was too young.
Where is he?
I think he died.
You think so? You don't remember that? So, what was it like living in Avakov? What did you do there? Do you remember?
Well, I was too young to know what's what.
Well, you left a book of how old were you? About.
Well, when I left, we had a pogrom.
Right, but before that,
Before that, I went to school.
where did you go to school? Do you remember the name?
I forgot the name.
You forgot the name. What kind
I
of
remember the teacher's name was Malamed.
Malaman? Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like. Was it a Jewish school?
No,
It was a
Not
Gentile school.
it was he was teaching
It was a
Russian.
state-run school.
Russian.
Russian.
No, there was a school, but I didn't go there. It was too far to go.
Uh-huh. And you learned what language did they teach you
Russian.
in Russian? And you learned Russian.
Well, I wanted to. My mother wanted me to learn Hebrew,
Uh-huh.
so I had a special teacher coming to the house to teach.
Do you remember the teacher's name? What it? So it was like a special tutor, like a mentor,
No,
person.
a person that knows how to speak Hebrew.
What did your house look like? Did you move after your father died? Did your father die when you were born or before you were born?
How could he?
He could have died while your mother was pregnant. I mean,
No. I remember when they took him to the cemetery, and I didn't go. They didn't take me, whatever. So I must have been very small. I don't even remember when he died.
What did he do? Do you know anything about him at all?
Well, my grandfather wanted to come to America too. We lived in a buchel, in a large house, like it was two parts. One part we lived and the other part my grandfather. The grandfather went to America with the children,
With everyone except you?
except me. I was too little, and I remained there with my mother.
Everyone went. All the little,
Yeah.
all your brothers and
And
sisters.
my brothers.
And then, so he left. When did they leave? When did they get here? Like about.
I think 1906.
So you were very little.
And then my mother got remarried,
Uh-huh.
and we moved to his house. It was a nice house.
Whose house?
To her husband.
Wait, she got remarried?
She remarried, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Who did she remarry?
A man.
Do you remember him?
I remember him, but
Remember his name?
yeah,
What was his name?
Levitzchok.
What is it?
I leave him out.
No, why? Why should we leave him out?
She died before him.
Right, I know that. What did she do? Well, you told me about her death later, but what was he? Did you like him or not like him?
I was young to understand.
But what did he do? Do you remember who he was?
Well, he used to handle big things, like he used to make a nice living. Anyway, let's skip that.
Why do you want to skip that? I don't know. How long was that?
Well, then there was a pogrom.
Wait, all right, we'll get to that. You don't want to talk. All right. What about, what else happened? What was your neighborhood like? Did you have friends and things? Do you
Yeah, we had friends.
Do you remember any
so many years.
It's so many.
You get.
I can't even imagine how long ago.
Yeah, I mean, so many years that.
Do you remember any of your friends in school or
Yeah, in school there was Manya.
Manya?
Manya. There were a lot of friends, but I forgot their name.
Were a lot of people going to the United States? Or
No,
the,
then from Bukhara,
okay, wait.
I
We'll
went
get.
to Kiev.
Okay, wait. We'll get to that. Was that after or before the pogrom you're talking about?
The pogrom was before and after. We had a couple of pogroms.
Right.
But my mother sent me to Kiev. I was 12 years and I don't remember.
Why did she send you there?
To visit with her sister had girls and boys, whatever, children. Anyway, that's the pogrom. And there was you know what a pogrom is?
Tell me about.
A pogrom where the rotten people, I don't know that one, those people, they were just either Bolshevik, I don't remember who they were. They came in, with revolvers, and they don't look at who you are, they just chase you out of the houses.
Did they do that to you? Do you
Well,
remember?
I wasn't here, but they did it. My mother came, and my mother and her husband, we came to Kiev. And then it was a problem of getting apartments.
So wait, she sent you to Kiev
No,
before the
she
pogrom?
sent me before, that's why I avoided it. She sent me like a guest to visit her sister.
What was her sister's name?
Her sister's name was,
This is your aunt, right?
I forgot.
You'll come back. You have a lot of names in your head for 90, 89 years.
But my mother was a good lady.
Tell me more about her. Avi,
She was a
were you close with her?
Yeah, very close. I was the only kid that remained with her. Then I got a little older already.
Right. So how come, what do you remember about her that?
I remember that she was very good natured and she was hospitable and she liked to do favors. I remember there was an old lady and she didn't want no charity, so she gave her money and she opened up a little store. And people used to come and buy things from her. She wanted to be on her own and my mother helped her out. And I remember she was doing things for poor people. She was very charitable lady. She was a good lady.
She made good money though. Was she comfortable to take care of you from the store that she sold?
No, she didn't sell the store.
Well, no, she used to sell things at the animal stores. Selling food and things. Big bet.
No, then they gave up. When she got married, she left that house.
She got married the second time.
Yes, second time. My father, I don't remember. My father, they say, was going to America. And he wasn't able to, you had to cross, they call it a Greenwich.
What's a Greenwich?
A Greenwich is a body of water. Like this side is the Bolsheviks, this side is Kiev, and the other side is a different state.
So where would he would have had to go from Kiev to somewhere?
To Kiev. So Kiev is a big city.
Right.
A nice city. And Kiev, there's more.
But you say he would have had to cross the Greek.
Yeah, and he wasn't able to. I don't know, they call him. There's always two sides when you have to cross they call it a Greenwich.
Right.
Like it's a body of water, like one state with another state. So
right.
The water separates.
Like a border.
Yeah.
And wait, so you say you think that's how you're?
No, I want to tell you about my father.
Right.
So when he came back with heart trouble, and he died.
Okay. So do you remember him leaving and then coming back?
No. I don't remember that. I only remember when my mother, the kids, my three brothers. Max wasn't even Max. You know my uncle Micho. You
That's
named
I was
after
named
him.
after him. Right.
He was
Micho.
Mech, yeah,
Right. Okay. That's my Hebrew name.
that's right.
So, all right.
Well, anyway, in Kiev.
Mhm.
So this was, I was in Kiev. I avoided the pogrom because I was there before. My mother sent me to her sister when they had daughters.
Right.
So we
Do you
was
think
with them.
did she send you because she knew there were pogroms, or
No.
she sent? How come
She
she
sent me, I don't know, just
to visit?
to get to visit.
How long were you gonna go for?
I don't remember that. The main thing is that while I was there was a pogrom. You know what a pogrom is?
Yes. Well, you'll tell me more. But where was the pogrom? In Kiev or in Abukhov?
In Bukhov.
Uh-huh.
But it spread all over.
And how do you remember seeing it? What do you remember from?
I remember when I was going with my mother.
She was in Kiev, or?
This was yet in Bukhov.
Mhm.
And they pointed a revolver,
Mhm.
Why do we go away, run away?
Mhm.
They were chasing us.
Did-
But yet they were angry because we went away from the house.
Right.
Oh, it's a bit
No, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about
no,
that.
and then
This
I
is
went
very-
to Europe.
Wait. We'll get to that later.
No, then I went to, I'm still in Kiev.
Right.
And then there was a pogrom that, was the second pogrom already. And they came to the Bukhov, and they chased out all the Jewish people. Not only they killed a couple of people, and some people were able to get away with the horse and wagon at that time to Kiev. Kiev is a big city, and it's it's a nice city. Kiev is like here,
Like what?
almost like Kiev.
Where is Kiev?
Kiev. There's a Kiev.
What
No,
was
but
that?
Kiev is a big city.
Kiev? What's
Kiev.
that? Where's that?
In
That-
Russia.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
what's it? It was big. Do you?
There was no pogrom.
Uh-huh.
So the people, you go away with it, a big city, you could hide. They chased them out, so they had to leave.
Right. How did they know you were Jewish in the Bukhov?
You could tell.
How come?
I come because the Jewish people live different and the Goyim live different.
Like what was
They
different?
were different. The Gentile people, they have earth of grass and everything, and cows and horses. And the Jewish people, they have little stores. They're not like they.
So what was? You mean they were more business people than
Business
farmers?
people, the farmers. The others were really farmers,
Uh-huh.
but some of them were nice. And so we used to run away from the house, and we used to run to Mama knew somebody that they liked her, so we went there and they were hiding us from the bad people that they used to. They used to call them Zelyonce.
What's that mean?
The name, it was a party of people that they give themselves a name.
Uh-huh. Like a political party.
Yeah.
Like the Ku Klux Klan or something.
Yeah, that's right. And then they go to, who do you kill? A Jew? And they wiped out the Jews.
So did
So they didn't kill too many people. But everybody left the Bukhov. I don't know where they were. But my mother came already to Kiev. And then when we came to Kiev, we haven't got an apartment. So we had to live. They gave us a room. And my uncle, my mother's brother, gave us a room. He gave up his room to my mother, and I used to call him uncle.
well, do you remember his first name?
My
Yeah.
Shulam Yankiv.
Shalom Yankiv. Now he was married to your aunt, but you don't. Do you remember?
No.
No.
Shulam Yankiv.
Uh-huh.
Shulam Yankiv was a brother to my mother. So he got married to my
Oh. He was directly related. He was really.
the good brother.
Uh-huh. Do you remember your grandparents at all? Were they alive?
Well, when I came to America, I had my grandfather here,
Really? What was his name?
Abraham.
I never heard about him. What did he do in Russia? Do you remember him in Russia, or he left when you were so little?
I was there when they. No, he left with all the children.
Right.
The children were Nathan,
Right.
and
Nathan,
Nathan,
Chava,
Chava. Chava was married already.
right? But we'll get there. Tilly,
Tilly,
Max,
and Max, and
you.
I.
Right, but how many
Max,
were there? How many
Max,
brothers and sisters were there?
well, I had two sisters
Two sisters.
and
Chava
three
and Tilly.
brothers.
Chava and Tilly.
Chava,
Right.
Tilly.
Max, Nathan,
No,
and
the
Irving.
sisters. So
Right.
Chava, Tilly,
Mhm.
Tilly, and I.
Right.
So the three.
Three.
And Nathan, and Irving,
Right.
and
And
Itzik. They used to call him Itzik.
no, and Max. And
No,
Max.
Max is what the younger.
Right.
Max was bar mitzvah on the ship and they were going to America. He
Really?
was 13 years old.
Really? Were you upset that they left without you?
I was too little to understand. And two, I was a young girl that it was a, what kind of a life was it?
I
You're
don't know.
afraid we used to hide ourselves in the bakeries, whatever it is, and there was a lot of trouble. Everybody used to come to Kiev from Odessa, from all kinds of.
Where else?
And they used to come to Kiev, and the Polacks. So they come where they could kill Jews.
But they came to Kiev because it was easy to hide,
Wasn't easy.
but it was.
When I remember when I lived in my uncle's, I still lived there, and they were, and there they had big apartments, and then they have like a how do you call it? A door.
Mhm.
That's not a door.
A trap door?
No, doors that you could lock, and they were like iron.
Like a, okay.
Yeah, so you couldn't get in, and you couldn't if you opened it. And they used to, we used to hide from the buildings.
Mhm.
So that's why.
Where was that?
In Kiev,
And wait, that was your uncle
Uncle Sholem Yankel.
from Yankov. Now he. Right.
Sholem Yankel.
When your mother came to see you in Kiev, remember you said she came. You went to visit.
Then that's the time they all came. I was alone there. She sent me to her sister.
Did you have all of your possessions with you? Like she left. Did she leave the house there and all?
Well, then let me finish it.
Uh.
They ran away from Abucho. They practically ran away. They left things. They didn't bring everything because they had to be in a hurry.
Uh-huh.
And that's the way it
So
was.
she lost all the house and the store and everything.
Forever it was. When then she came there, so he was my uncle, her husband, and then
Her husband? Wait, what? Say that?
she remarried.
Right.
They went to America, my mother remarried, and I remained with her. The rest went away. Chava
Right.
was married, she had a baby.
Right. Did they leave before you went to Kiev or after you went to Kiev?
Well, I was in Kiev before. I didn't witness
Them leaving?
the girl.
Oh, right.
Chava got married. It was I realized that Chava was married. They went to Florida.
It's a good trip. Where did they go? For the honeymoon? You don't know.
For honeymoon. Who knows no honeymoon?
Well, where did people go on vacation?
There were Carlsbad, there were places. We weren't so rich that I should remember, but we were very comfortable.
Uh-huh.
And my mother was a nice lady.
Uh-huh.
She was loved by everybody.
Yeah.
And what else do I tell you?
Told me a lot.
And then
I just want to get this organized. What happened? First, when you were born, you lived in Abacho, and then you went to. When did your brothers and sisters leave with your grandfather? Before you went to Kiev? Did you or while you were in Kiev?
no, they left. It was like giving up a home.
Mhm.
My mother gave up the home, and my Zayda, my grandfather,
Mhm.
Rome, he came to America. So he came to America with all the children. He had a brother here.
Mhm.
His name was also Radutsky.
What was his name?
Radutsky of Rome.
Avram. That was your grandfather.
The
Well, what was
grandfather.
his brother's name?
I don't remember.
How come everybody was coming to the United States? What
Because my father wanted to go to the United States too, so but he couldn't pass the whatever it is, they call it a Greenwich. It's like a body of water.
Right.
And,
Right, you told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he couldn't. So he came home and he got heart trouble
Mhm.
because he was running. I don't think I was too young to understand.
Right, but
And he came home, he got sick, and he died.
right now they left, and then you lived in
I lived
Abokov,
with my mother.
right? And then you went to Kiev, and
And
then
then
she met you in Kiev.
Yeah. Then when the kids went to America, my mother got married to this man.
Right.
And she came into a nice home and everything was
Right.
nice.
Because he had money.
Yeah. I don't know about the money part, but anyway, it was my mother was a wonderful person.
So tell me about what was life in Kiev like. It was different than in
Well,
Abokov.
you know, you go to, I don't know whether I went to school there or not, I don't remember.
How old were you? About 12, you said?
About 12 or so. I understood everything.
It's incredible you remember that. It's unbelievable.
Well, there are a lot of things that I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you do
Yeah,
remember.
but I know that the children,
Mhm.
then I went to Rovno, then I went to, Zwoiking,
Mhm.
then I went to, wait a minute, where was it? Then my mother died.
Well, tell me about that also. Well,
My mother died.
before she died, tell me about what you remember. You said there were pogroms in Kiev also?
Yeah, the pogroms because people that ran away from the small
Right.
small places.
Do you remember hiding it all?
Yeah, that's what I was
tell
telling
me
you.
about
We were hiding in a place where they had those doors, the
Steel doors?
steel doors
Where was that?
in Kiev. And everybody that lived in, it was it was large buildings, like here, you don't see it like that.
Right.
And the people that lived there, they were afraid of the bandits. There was a Petliurce.
What's that?
They gave themselves names, and they, I got already the names. They were no good. Even the Polacks,
Uh-huh.
the Polacks were fighting too with the Russians.
What do you mean?
They were fighting with the Polish people.
Mhm.
Were fighting the Russian people.
In Kiev?
In Kiev, sure. So then the Polish people came to Russia, and as far as I remember, it was no good. Anyway,
What do you remember about hiding? Like, what did you think about? What did you feel like when you were hiding?
how good would you feel? You're scared.
Yeah.
And then we settled in Kiev. First we had to go to my uncle, he gave us a room, we lived there. And then my mother got sick. There was typhoid fever, it was in America too that time. And she had a cousin, was a cousin, a real cousin, and she had a lot of children. And that time the typhoid fever was going around, with the typhoid. And
Did friends of yours get typhoid?
so my mother went to bring them food.
Right.
In a cold day, they used to wear Valinkas, certain shoes that they used to wear them in New York, here too, but not like that.
What are they? What are Valinkas?
It's a
Tall boots?
yeah, boots like a cloth, and it's made out of a cloth. And she went there, and somebody was sick with the typhoid fever, and she came back the same night. She lay down, and on the next Friday, a whole week, she was gone. And I was with her from the day she got sick. You say you catch from somebody. I was laying on her feet, put a chair down where she was laying, that I should know whether she's up or not. Nothing happened to me.
How was she during that week? Did she know she was going to die?
I don't know. I was too little. Not too little, but I probably didn't understand. I understood I lost my mother. Nobody was able to talk to me.
So,
I used to sit and cry, and that's all I did. More? Should I tell you more?
yeah, this is good. It's interesting.
Well, then I used
Tell me more about she died. What happened when she died? Like, were you there when she died?
that's what I'm telling you. I was there to the last minute when she died. And I even laid on her feet in case she wakes up or something. I should be there. We had a nurse to her at that time. And then she died, and I still remained living there by my uncle. He gave us a room.
What do you mean us? Oh, he gave you and your mother.
My mother.
Where was
This was Kiev.
Where was your stepfather? The woman.
The stepfather and my mother. But then my mother died.
Yeah.
We took an apartment.
Who's with you and your stepfather?
The stepfather, and he had a stepson. And
you took an apartment somewhere?
yeah, it was very hard to get apartments. Whatever it was, but we were in the apartment. And then I wanted to come to America. I wrote a letter to the Hayas. You know what a Hayas is?
What's the Hayas?
Hayas is that they used to not work for the people, but they used to help out people coming to America. So they used to call it Hayas.
For Jewish people?
Yeah, there's still a Hayas. And they weren't making passports to America. They were making to Cuba, to Argentina. And but when I got to Cuba, no, so then we had to go to Rovno, you call it. It's still Russia, but we had to it was between Russia and the.
Well, before you get into your whole trip, I have a map I can show. You can like show me where you went and all.
I'm able to see.
You'll use a magnifying. Before we get back, we go to that. I want to talk more about Russia because nobody knows anything about Russia.
But Russia is like they're nice people. They're nice Jewish, Gentile people, and they're really not nice people. You know that.
What did when you started to grow up? What did you think you were going to do? Did you think you were going to come to the United States, or did you, like before your mother got sick? Did you think you'd stay in Russia your whole life?
Yeah, no, we thought we'd go to Russia, to America. So we had to wait and wait and wait, and there was no end to it. And then that's how mother got sick, and she died. That's why I remained alone.
Typhoid. What happens when you get typhoid? What happened to her?
She died.
What did you get? Did you get fever and stuff? I don't remember. I don't know what happened.
Typhoid fever is a very dangerous thing. And yet I was on the top of her all the time.
And you didn't get it.
And I didn't get it. So
you're lucky.
Well, anyway.
About the pogroms, what do you remember? What else do you remember? Anything else? Like you said, they pulled a revolver on you and your mother when you were leaving
the
Bukhara.
I was still in the Bukhara when when the Bolsheviks came in. They come in.
The Bolsheviks, huh?
Bolsheviks.
Right, Bolsheviks.
And I was running. My mother had me, so she ran with me there. You run away, you figure you don't know where you run. So they stopped us with the revolver. Why are you running away?
Right.
No, you could talk to them.
Did your mother talk to them? Did she?
I suppose.
Well, she must have done something. You didn't get arrested or anything.
No, they didn't arrest anybody. They were just going to kill people. But we were lucky.
Did they hate? Is it because they hated the Jews?
I suppose. Who likes the Jews?
Well, because I don't know. Maybe they were. What was it? They were unemployed and there was not enough money, and they thought Jews had.
No. A pogrom is something that you find a person like what happened in Germany.
Tell me.
Hitler.
Yeah, but tell me what.
You know what Hitler was.
Right. Why do you think they had a pogrom in Russia?
Why do you think that they had a pogrom in Hitler?
Well, they had a leader there, but
so there was a leader.
Who was the leader in Russia?
Knutze. They called it the Knutze, Zilionze. Now, this is all these...
what are those names? Those are the groups, the political groups?
Groups, and the groups, and they're all from the Gentile people. And who do you kill? A Jew. So they were after the Jews. That time, I remember, they killed someone from our relatives, one person that we knew very much. His sister was here in America. But anyway.
Wait, who's that? What is that?
You don't know those people.
Well, what is that?
This was we were relatives. I don't know how, but a young man was killed. A nice man, a fellow, wasn't even married, and his sister was in America. That's
How did
why.
you know him?
Well, we were like relatives, so you find out about.
And how was he killed?
Do you know how they kill people?
Did they shoot him?
I suppose.
How did you find out about it? How do you know? How did you know about it?
Because they were going around the houses and killing. Like I ran away with my mother, and yet why are you running away? And they want to kill us. So locally they didn't kill us. And then my mother got, I told you,
Right.
got sick. So
Right. What?
I wanted to come to America.
So you before she got sick though, you thought you were still hoping to come to the United States?
Sure,
When your
my
parents.
mother too,
Right.
but it wasn't easy.
When your grandfather left with the kids, why didn't he take you and your mother?
Well, they thought my mother get married and you come to America.
Why? Because your father had died already before the kids
Of
left?
course, the father died.
He died while Ava and everybody was in Russia?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So he was the first one to try to leave to go to the United
No,
States.
he tried, but it didn't.
Right.
So then he came back and he died from heart trouble.
And then your grandfather took everybody.
And then the grandfather had a brother here.
Right, you
So
told me.
that's why he
Right,
took the whole family.
right,
And I was too little or whatever it is, so I didn't remain with my mother.
right.
And when my mother got married, and then, so anyway, she was in a Bochum, but when they killed the people there, they chased them out of the city.
How long were you in Kiev before she came?
I don't remember that.
Was it a year though, or was it like a few weeks,
In a few months, I think.
a few months?
You know, she wanted me to have a little diversion.
Right.
So Kiev was a big city,
Mhm.
so I was with my cousins.
Mhm.
They died anyway already.
What did they die from?
I don't know. One was here named Isaac, because he lived
Isaac?
when years ago I used to visit him. He lived on Ostend Avenue. You know where Ostend Avenue is?
I heard of it. Where is that? What borough?
This in Ostend Avenue was in
Bronx or Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn,
Right,
sure.
it's in Brooklyn.
And then they moved to California.
Yeah?
And he got sick and he died there.
But he was with you in Kiev?
He was and he wasn't. I don't know what it was with him there.
Mhm.
But anyway, when we're going to stop,
Whenever we feel like it. We're doing great.
what, oh, you're great.
Yeah?
You want to leave everything like this
Yeah,
and we
of
go
course.
to eat?
In a few minutes, let's
Now what else do you want? No. Then when I came to America,
so wait, before you came to America, so in Russia you spoke Russian?
yeah, before I came to America, I wasn't easy to make a passport to come to America.
Right.
And I didn't know what to do
From Kiev.
from Kiev. Yes.
So you spoke to the Hayas.
You spoke to them, you know, you were so busy.
Were you getting mail from the United States?
No, that time was no mail either. But I put in a letter or something in the forwards.
What's that?
The forwards is a paper. And I don't know, they have a certain paper there in Russia. I don't remember that. But I wrote that I'm Rose Sanders.
Did you write Rose Sanders?
No, I wasn't married.
What did you write?
I wrote Rose Radotsky.
Rose though? Was your name?
Rosa Radotskaya.
Uh-huh.
So it's my family is in America.
Mhm.
And Nathan,
Mhm.
you know what Nathan was?
Yeah, he was your oldest brother.
His brother. So Nathan was reading the paper, and he understood that Mama's dead because I mentioned my name that I'm looking.
Uh-huh.
So he knew that my mother's there. He surmised it, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
And then I started working. I should get a passport to America.
You started work. Were you working ever? What were you doing
I
every day?
wasn't working that time.
Well, what did you do when your mother died? Did you start to work, or
No, I didn't work, but
your stepfather took care of you financially?
yeah, I was with him. He had a son. He wanted me to marry him. He was a nice man, but my mother was always wanted to do business.
What do you mean?
Business lady.
Well, what do you mean though?
She ran the store when we were before. Anyway, this is not important.
No, it's important.
Well, the important is
It's important. I
that
want to know.
when I came to America, I had a hard time.
Well, you tell me all about that, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're still in Russia. Why don't you want to tell me about?
In Russia,
Yeah.
there's nothing to tell.
It's
Listen,
very
I
interesting.
was young yet,
Mhm.
and not only was I young, you can penetrate all those things.
It's coming back though. You told me a lot more today than you told me last
Well,
time.
we're sitting and talking, so you asked me questions, so I start thinking of it. But I remember I was with my mother. I was close with my mother
Mhm.
because I was the only young child.
Was your mother educated in Russia also?
Well, she was educated in Hebrew more, but she knew.
Was the Jewish community very closely knit? Were they very?
Well, it's never knit, closely knit. In a Jewish community, in a small place, in a large place like Kiev, you don't know what's doing in the next, like in America.
Mhm.
But this was a small, everybody knew what somebody else's business.
In a Bakhov.
In the Bochel. My mother knew who has no bread, so
Mhm.
she used to go bring them bread or whatever it is to help other poor people.
Mhm.
She was always say,
Did you help her at all?
I wasn't young yet, to go to school.
Mhm. What do you remember about school?
But the school, we had they called it cheater, like fourth class school,
Mhm.
but I had to walk too far,
Mhm.
so my mother wouldn't let me. So we had a teacher that he had children, and they used to teach me. He was a real teacher, not a.
So it wasn't a real school then?
Well, it was. He made a school of it,
How many kids were there?
Who knows?
Like, were there 10 or 100?
Oh yeah, sure. Not 100, but more than 10.
Uh-huh.
And he had made that with regular school.
And it was in Hebrew?
No, not in Hebrew.
In Russian?
In the Russian. Hebrew is a different.
Was the private person? that
Yeah,
came?
Hebrew. I know. I was learning Hebrew.
Was it Hebrew or Yiddish?
No, Yiddish is different than Yiddish is different.
Right,
than
but how
Hebrew.
did you?
Well, Yiddish, you talk Yiddish, so you understand Yiddish.
Who talked Yiddish?
We were talking Yiddish.
So you learned Yiddish
Yiddish, but
by
Hebrew,
talking?
Yeah, but Hebrew, you have to go to a teacher.
Right.
Because that.
Right. I did that
Yeah.
also.
In English is already. Why are you looking at it?
I want to make sure that it's still running.
Oh. Does it stop by itself?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what else do you want to know?
So you went to school there?
I went to school, but then when I came to America, I went to a night school.
Mm-hmm.
In the night school, I lived in Nathan's house.
Right. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's stay in Russia still,
Yeah.
since there's lots to
Some
talk.
of Russia.
Why is there no Russia? A lot about Russia. It's coming back to you. A lot of things.
Yeah, something.
Why?
I'm not interested no more in it.
Why?
What have I got that to be?
Well, it's where my history is. When people say to me, where did my grandparents come from? I say Russia. It's like, that's where I would have been if you didn't come here. It's the only place that's where my heritage is. I'm not from I'm from the United States, but I'm original.
Your heritage is
Years and years and years. How many generations of family lived in Russia before they came here?
Where?
There were a lot of people. I mean, your great-grandparents and my great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, and right. We were always in Russia, right? Your family?
Not you.
No, but your family was always in
My
Russia.
family came from Russia.
Right. So, imagine how long they've been there.
Well, they were born there.
Right. All of them. Right. Do you remember your grandmother at all?
Not my grandmother, but I remember my grandfather.
Right.
Because
Avram.
My grandfather was Avram.
What do you remember about him in Russia?
In Russia, I don't remember.
Right, but
they went to America.
How did you communicate with the people while you were in Kiev? When your mother?
I guess I wrote letters.
And that you could get them out of the country? You could send them?
Yeah.
And then you wrote in this paper.
The mere fact is that I I wrote into the paper whatever is the Hayas. There used to be Hayas there too, near the Wakefield. And so that's how I put it in the papers that I am looking for a Dutski
Right.
in America.
Right.
Nathan read it for us, and but the way I wrote, not Mama, not my mother, Malcolm,
Right.
I put in
Right.
the name,
And he
so
realized.
he understood that she died.
Did you make plans with them? Did they never told you what to do, how to communicate? Like when they left, you were very little.
Little. That time was easy to go, but you had to gamble, and that means you steal, you cross a place where you're not supposed to.
What do you mean? What is that?
Well, look, if there's a body of water, this side is Polish and this side is England, let's say. And if you can go to the England, so between the people, they know a time when they cross. So when you cross, they cross the water. So they call it in Yiddish. They übergegangen Grenitz.
What does that mean?
That means you went through they used to call it a Grenitz.
The danger zone.
The danger zone, yeah.
Yeah.
That the danger was that you're not supposed to go and you go.
Right.
And so
They still have places like that.
Yeah. But if you're there already, there's nothing you could do about it. And then, you know what a blabber means?
What is it?
A blabber.
What is that?
That means when you're in a place you're not supposed to be, they arrest you and they send you back where you come from. And
So that's
nobody likes that.
right. So that's what they did with your father, you think?
Well, my father,
When they sent him back?
they started running, and then he probably, when he came back, he didn't go to America no more.
Right.
He died.
Do you remember, was your mother very upset when your father
I
died?
don't remember.
Were they close? Do you remember?
Mother and father, they had 6 children, 7 children. I had a little brother too, I understand.
How come you never saw
I
him?
don't remember him.
You don't remember having a little brother?
No. He was
Nothing?
a baby then.
Did you don't remember him as a baby? Do you remember his name?
It's Srulik, I know they say
Srulik.
Srulik, oh yeah.
Well, what does that mean in English?
It's Srulik, I don't know.
So that was the 7th
Yeah.
sibling, brother or sister.
But my mother was a wonderful lady.
So you don't know what he died of, just childbirth or whatever.
I know that my mother died of typhoid fever.
Right. And your father died of a heart attack, supposedly.
He died there because when he couldn't get to America, so he came back.
Right.
He
Right.
wanted to go to America because he wanted everybody to come to America. And my Zayda had a brother here, a Radovsky. That's why the
Right.
Zayda came with
Right.
him.
You
And
know,
my Zayda's first wife died, so he remarried.
in Russia?
Yeah. So he remarried, and that's where Minahama,
Who's that?
the Tata Hana was, now her mother was May's mother was Minahama. Minahama, that's why she's my cousin. She was born, she was born to the Minahama.
Who's this?
Minahama,
Mechana is Avram's second wife?
no, Minahama was a daughter of my grandfather.
Of your grandfather?
Yeah,
Of Avram?
that's right. Grandfather, so she was her daughter. That means that's how we're cousins.
Oh, okay. So wait, Avram had, your original grandmother died,
Died.
and Avram remarried in Russia.
Yeah, he married in Russia.
Then when he came to the United States, did he take his wife with him?
No, when he came,
Your
his
new-
wife. No, my grandfather remarried.
Right? And did she go to the United States?
Yes. And
With your
Ray,
with your brothers and sisters?
Yeah, Ray.
Her name was Ray?
I know they came after her later.
Who's Ray?
Ray was Nathan's wife.
Oh, right, okay. But they got married in the United States.
Yeah, they got married. By the time I came to America, in the meantime my mother died.
Right.
And by the time I came to America, I used to write letters to Nathan.
Right.
Because I wrote them that I don't know. Like Watersfield and this, and I kept on writing, that's my name I gave it.
Right. Well, what were you saying? You wrote him about quotas? What else?
I didn't write to him. I wrote in
In the what was the name of the
the
paper?
paper,
What was it called?
the forwards.
Right.
And the forwards, Nathan used to read it, I suppose, and he saw that, we had a partner to write that. I'm looking for Radutsky,
Right.
Radutskaya, used to call
Uh-huh.
whatever I was writing. No,
Did you write for a long time before?
No, and then he wrote me a letter, and then we used to correspond, and he wrote me, he sent me a Schiffskarte. A Schiffskarte means a ticket to come to America.
Uh-huh.
So when you go, a ticket is that they give you, when they give out these, I don't even know how they call it, these places. Anyway.
Wait, so
We're not finished yet.
no.
So you could leave it here and we go to eat.
Yeah. Are you hungry?
I'm not hungry, but I want to eat on time because they close the place.
We have so much time. It's only 12:30.
12:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Maybe he wouldn't get to
Wait. Why are you putting on your glasses?
because we go right away.
Oh, wait.
It's flickering here.
Oh, good. That's a good sign.
What's the sign?
What's the sign? It means that the camera's working.
Oh.
Alright, this is the second take. Second part. Okay. Where were we?
I don't know.
Okay. We were. Gonna just fix this. Okay. We were talking about.
Coming to America.
Yeah, no, you're talking about, now, when they left, when all your brothers and sisters left, did you think you were going to see them again?
I don't remember what happened years ago.
Right,
I suppose I would.
right,
I felt that I know I had family.
right. And they,
And my mother surely wanted to see her children.
so they left, and then you started writing in this paper to them. Now, when your mother died, how did you try to get in touch with
That time
them?
there was no contact with America.
Were you worried about getting in touch with them?
I suppose so.
Uh-huh.
But, so there was a way of writing into the forwards that my name,
Right.
Rose, whatever my name was, Radutsky, is looking for Nathan Radutsky.
Right.
So when it was said Rose, so Nathan knew already that Mama probably
Right.
died, otherwise would have been.
How long did you write in the paper? Like, for how much? Did you write for months or for a year?
No, I gave in once, I think.
Once, and he read it one time?
It just happened, by
So you were lucky.
coincidence. No.
Were a lot of people?
Maybe I did a lot, I don't know, I couldn't remember. All I know that then, see, now I don't remember. We got connections after there with them
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't know we were in a boho when they went to America.
Well, no, they didn't know you were in Kiev, you mean.
They didn't know it, so that's
They
why.
knew you were in Bachum. You were always in Bachum.
Yeah, but then I was in Kiev.
But they didn't know that.
That's why I.
So you notified them.
So I didn't notify them because there was no corresponding at the time.
Right.
So I had to do it through the
Through the what was the name of that paper? The forwards?
through the forwards.
Forwards. And what was that? Tell me, what was that paper?
The paper is like a Rose Radutsky.
Yeah, but what was the paper for? What was it?
Where people read papers here.
Was it like a newspaper?
A newspaper.
Well, how did you know they read it?
I don't know what it was. Just happened that Nathan read in the newspapers
Uh-huh.
that I am looking for Radutsky.
Uh-huh.
So then already got in touch with me. Like this, they didn't know where I was.
Uh-huh.
They didn't know that even Mama died. But Nathan knew that Mama died because I put my name on
Right,
it.
you told me that.
Yeah.
How did he get in touch with you?
I think he, I don't remember this, but all I know that he got in touch with me.
How do you think that he would?
I suppose so, because then we start corresponding.
No, but how do you think he correspond? Well, how did you correspond?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Through the Hayas, maybe?
No, the Hayas just happened that time. You know, it's so many years. You
Yeah,
never
but you-
think of it.
Try to remember. What did you?
Well, anyway,
Mm-hmm.
he got in touch with me.
Uh-huh.
And as far as I know, he said that he gave a man $300 that he should look for me
Uh-huh.
in Kiev.
Okay.
And that guy
How
probably...
did you find that? He told you that when you came to the United States? He
He-
told you all the details?
No. But then, the man never looked for me and they never saw me.
Uh-huh.
He just took away the $300 and it was gone.
Good deal.
Then, I don't know, I don't remember how I started corresponding with him.
Uh-huh.
And then he knew already that moment.
So wait, you say that he told you later on that he gave $300 and you never saw this person.
No,
So how
never.
did you learn, you don't remember how he found you in
He
Kiev?
told me that, he wrote to me that he sent a man.
But you didn't get a letter, did you? Were you getting letters?
I start getting letters. I don't remember really
Uh-huh.
these things.
Sure,
All
sure.
I know that after I got in touch with him, and I went to look for, I went to the Hayas, all in the Hayas. I went all the time there to the Hayas to find out what's what. So that time they stopped making passage to America.
Was the Hayas a legal organization?
Yeah,
Was it only for Jews?
I suppose so. I don't know. I think it's still existing.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Hayas is like an organization that cares for people
Right.
and try to help people.
Did it have another name or is that the only name?
No, don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's
So
called
you would
Hayas.
go to a building where they were?
Where the Hayas was, everybody knows that. And inquire and this and that. And then was a time that they didn't make passports. They had, I guess they had something to do with people are interested in these things, they like to help. So the Hayas, people you could, like you go in a bank, people stand all over and they're behind their thing and people come and ask questions and all that. But this time, they stopped making passports to America for a while. So they only make passports for Argentina and for Cuba. So I wrote, in another thing, there was a husband and wife coming to America.